Hey, what's going on, folks? Larry with Packmasters Dog Training. So a week or two ago, I held a free group class for anyone that wanted to attend. And, wound up going 4 or 5 hours. When I do those things, I always say it's going to be about 2 hours, but it always runs several hours because a lot of people show up. And so when people come from far away, we had people from 8-10 hours away that drove here. I can't just end it in 2 hours because I think that's long enough for a group class. I always encourage people not to come from far away for a group class, but they always do. So I'm going to do my best to try to address everyone that's there. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't, but I try my best. But since the last one, I've been inundated with emails and phone calls from other dog trainers asking me how I run my group classes. They like the idea of the free group classes thing and just tons of different questions. And so basically, I run my group classes, especially the free group classes, because they're not just for clients, they're for anyone, the way I run my workshops. Nothing is planned. I don't plan anything. I do it as it comes. I let the people dictate what is needed. I let the dogs dictate what is needed, because if I have a curriculum and I have something planned, the dogs aren't impressed by that. They can give a damn less what I have planned, So you never know what you're going to run into. Basically, what I do is, let me go back how I used to run my group classes. So for several years, my group classes were for clients only, and I still do them at times. Clients only. This way, every single dog that comes to group class has been through my program already. That's how I did it for many, many years. And so for several years, I basically, 90% plus of the dogs I worked with were aggression cases. So group classes were done with a large group of dogs in a very public place, not in a fenced-in area. It was real world stuff. And I hated doing group classes, but they were very, very important to clients. The feedback I got, clients loved it, because basically the group classes are more for the owners, guys. This is where we're putting everything to test that they have learned. This is where we're really teaching them to be dog handlers, and, where they have to be able to handle their dog in any situation, So they were very, very beneficial. And even back then, I would still do free group classes here and there and that was open to anyone. And so a lot of people say, listen, I'm just starting my business. I can't afford to give away free stuff. And here's the thing, guys. I understand that. I really do. But I have never, ever been hurt financially by giving away free classes or free advice. It's not going to hurt you. If anything, it's going to help you. But the reason I do it is really simple. For one, there are tons of people, probably the majority of dog owners out there that struggle. They struggle desperately and they don't know what to do. Many people can't afford really good quality dog training, okay? Most quality dog training is a lot of money. It's expensive, guys. It really is. And so they just can't afford it. And many others, they just pick anyone that they find on Google and they go, and many times they wind up with little or no results, okay? So the way I run it, like the last one here, we had a lot of people there. We had, several dogs with some pretty serious problems. My goal when I do these things is to address each person and each dog individually, as an individual, separately. So I let the people dictate what needs to be done, just like at a workshop. I don't come in with a curriculum, guys, because if I do that, there's going to be a lot of things maybe that I don't touch on that people come for. So I let the people dictate. How can I help you? What do you need? And then I do my best to address that. And I spend a little bit of time with each one. But this is what you have to remember. This is for the trainers and the people to attend. And I see people have made this mistake for all the years, all the seminars I've gone to. I see it happen over and over. A lot of people come to these things focused on their dog. That's it. So when I'm working their dog, or anyone's working their dog that they go see, that's what they focus on. And when the trainers are working with everyone else, they're kind of socializing and talking and, just not paying attention. That's the biggest mistake you can do, guys. Because every dog that goes out there and is worked is a learning experience. You're going to take a lot away from every single dog that's there, not just your own. And that's why I tell people when I go to a seminar, I don't go to a lot of seminars, but when I do, I prefer not to have my dog. I don't want my dog with me. I want to be zoned in, 100% focused on every dog that's out there being worked, because it's all a learning experience. It really is. So I'll give you a little bit of example of this last free group class I did. We'll talk about it. There were several dogs there that were highly, highly reactive. It caused a big commotion right from the start. I don't separate those people. I don't tell those people they're not welcome. I encourage them, because just by them being there with those dogs, it's tremendous training for them. It's a tremendous training opportunity, and we get overwhelmed with German Shepherds from all over the place. We've talked about this before. I see more misbehaved problem German Shepherds than any other breed by far, because too many people are breeding them. We have too much bad breeding in the breed, and we have too many dog owners that have no experience with a dog, and we have too many dog owners that do nothing when they get a German Shepherd, and that's all a recipe for disaster. You just can't do it. So we had several German Shepherds there that were, just kind of apeshit crazy. But guess what, guys? These people were there to learn, and they wanted to do something. So a few of them, as bad as they were in the beginning and out of control, within the first hour, those dogs were laying down and able to relax. And then throughout the day, throughout the 4 or 5 hours, when those dogs had an outburst, the owners all of a sudden started understanding how to handle it. And it had a really, really big impact, makes a really big difference. And that's why I just think it's really important for me to give back to people that need help and don't know where to turn, or maybe can't afford it, okay? Because let's face it, if it wasn't for all the people out there, no one knows who I am. And so people have been extremely good to me, really, really good to me. I'm very, very blessed in that sense. And so I feel an obligation to give back to as many people as possible. I really do, because I get to do something I love, and people pay me a lot of money to do something that I honestly did for free for a very long time, So the people that were at that class, let's talk about the one dog that I posted the video of, okay, Buddy. I think he was a Labradoodle, maybe, some kind of doodle. And so Buddy showed up. So everyone here heard Buddy's story, okay? Everyone there heard. See, when I mentioned before about how much abusive training and how much bad training out there is, especially with the e-collar, how much abusive training, I've caught a lot of flack from other trainers saying that I'm basically full of shit. And I do that to make myself, look better, try to make myself look like a saint or something. And that's bullshit. I don't need to do that. I don't do that, I have a lot of flaws, and I'm guilty of a lot of things, but being dishonest isn't one of them, okay? I'm as honest as they come, and sometimes that gets me in trouble. So I tell people, I see it weekly. I get calls from people and see dogs weekly that have been through really abusive e-collar training. And then, again, sometimes trainers will say, well, I'm not seeing it. Well, maybe you're not sought out by people. You ever think of that? So that's pretty egotistical of someone to say. But we had a great couple show up with a really cool dog. They explained their situation. They paid a lot of money. I think it was for a board and train. I think they did for 1 week, okay? Let's face it, 1 week is not enough time to train a dog. It's just not. And what that dog went through is pretty disgusting. They explained to me the type of training that dog went through. He went through very harsh e-collar training. So again, without any training, without doing anything, when the dog did not comply to the commands it was given, it got its ass kicked with an e-collar that had never been trained on. So there was no conditioning, there was no teaching process, nothing. The dog was hammered for 1 week over and over, had a horrendous experience with the e-collar. So I posted this video. You guys saw this dog. I posted that video for a reason. So I listened to the owner's story. So now, of course, they don't know where to turn, what to do. They don't even know if they want to do dog training because it was a horrible experience, and they didn't know if they should put their dog through that again. So the first thing I did with that dog was put the e-collar on, because I want to show people. There were a lot of people there that weren't familiar with e-collar work. And so what that means is those people usually see it as a shock collar, as punishment, as corrections, and as an abusive tool. So you folks that know me, I'm going to do my best to be an ambassador for the tool, where as much as I can, show people how the tool can and should and its possibilities be used. Very important to me, because people are losing it. I got friends in Europe. You could talk to them. It's gone. They lost it. And if we're going to be able to train as we please and have freedom to use the tools we want, well, then we have to take the offensive, not the defensive, and show people, because dogs don't lie. And that's always my goal. So almost everything I do, I'm always thinking, is this going to help the industry or is this going to hurt the industry? And I'm not perfect. I make plenty of mistakes, but that is my end goal, okay? So the first thing I did was put the e-collar on the dog. We found the dog's working, and we did a little bit of e-collar work. I used a sound box so people could hear when I was using it, and I used it a lot. And what they saw was Buddy did not have a bad reaction, okay? In fact, he had a very good reaction. That was important to me for the owners to see, okay? I didn't care about, fixing the dog with the e-collar or doing e-collar training. I wanted the owners to see the dog's reaction when we start doing it properly. Very, very important. So once we got through that, then I took the e-collar off, or I just stopped using it. I think I left it on. But now it was time to show them what needed to be done with this dog. So I just started engaging with the dog, and I took out, I think it was a ball on a rope, and we started playing, and we started tugging. And we started a little bit of training in that engagement, and the dog never knew we were training, but we got him fired up and we brought him to life, okay? We brought him to life. He's looking like he's supposed to look, because the relationship for me is number one. You got nothing with a dog if you don't have a relationship. That's just the way I train. I want that dog crazy about me, whether it's mine or someone else's. I want that dog focused on me and engaged. So too often we see these dogs out there with trainers that, they're confined to a place board, or they look like they've been friggin' drugged because the dog has no interest in its handler, in its owner, in its trainer. That's not dog training. We want to bring the best out of the dog. So at one point, I got on the ground, I'm laying down, I'm hiding from the dog, I'm not, and he literally laid down, and I think he laid on top of me. He just wanted me. He wanted to engage, okay? Very, very important. So what the people see from that little situation is okay, and I had to let them know, you have a great dog. This dog, the sky is the limit. There's nothing we can't do with this dog. But they just found the wrong trainer. Now, I told them, tell the trainer you want your money back, because they didn't do anything. Why is it that the dog training industry, I don't know if there's any other industries out there, if I take my car in to be fixed and I drop $3,000 on a have repaired and I come home and nothing's done, they either got to fix it or I get my money back, And that goes for just about any industry you think of. But yet people pay thousands of dollars for dog training with no results, with nothing. Many times the dog comes back worse, and they accept it. And as long as people are accepting that, people are going to do it. So I looked this trainer up in Nashville. I have nothing personal against them, and they may be good people. They may not be, devious or nothing. They just may not have the ability to train dogs. But when I looked at their website, well, they look like great dog trainers. They've been the best dog trainers in the area for over 30 years. It says so on their website. They are the best there is for over 30 years. It says so on their website, okay? Their testimonials are fantastic. So the point of this, guys, if you're looking for a dog trainer, don't just use Google. Don't just look at someone's website. If you're going to drop several $1,000s on your family pet, do your research. You have to do your research. And looking at a website, no one's website is going to tell you they don't have a lot of ability and they're going to kick your dog's ass when, they can't figure out what's wrong. So you want to talk to clients, you want to see dogs, you have to put a lot of time and effort into it. You're dropping a fortune. Get the most out of your money. And so with the free group classes, if I could just give people a little glimpse of what's possible with their dog, then it's worth it for me. And on the flip side, guys, what we do takes a lot of skill, takes a lot of practice. I get plenty out of doing a free group class because I see all kinds of dogs, all kinds of people. I get to practice. I get to practice what I love to do. And there's going to be things that come up where it's tough. You got to really think on your feet, and you got to make quick decisions, and not everything's going to be perfect. I had, an awesome dude come down, soldier, came down from really far away with the beautiful German Shepherd that he found on the street. And he's going to make that his PTSD dog. And he came down for help from me. That's very humbling to me, because you folks know how I feel about our soldiers. I felt terrible that this guy came down from very far away, drove several hours to get here, and basically what I told him about his dog was, this dog needs him more than he needs the dog. The dog was already attached at his hip. The guy can't leave his side. He's a beautiful dog, and I know they're going to be a beautiful team. But I think this dog found him for a reason, because this dog needs this soldier more than the soldier needs him. And so there was nothing I can do much on the spot, because the dog was still a little too freaked out being someplace new. The dog had good drive at home. He had no drive to engage or do anything. Wouldn't take food, wouldn't play, nothing. So that dog needs a lot of work, and he needs some time, and that's why I tell people, don't come from far away, because there wasn't much I can do there. And I want to help that individual. I want to help that person who did so much for us. I have to help them somehow. But on the spot, that's one case that there's not much you can do until he's a beautiful dog and the dog needs him. So, hopefully in the future I could do something to help them, but that wasn't the best place for it. Just being there is good for the dog. Having him around in that situation and getting him engrossed in new things is a good thing. But that's why, and I might be running off on a tangent here, but these free group classes, if you're a trainer, run them how you're comfortable. Run them however you want to. Okay, and if you are doing it for free, like a lot of you said you're thinking about doing, you're never going to lose out, guys. And you know what the great thing about that is? There's no pressure. If it sucks, people can't complain. It's free. You understand what I'm saying? But what's going to happen is when you start doing them, whether it's a paid group class or a free group class, you will change things as you go to make it better. I promise. I promise you. Okay? No one's obligated to do anything for free. Don't feel guilty if you don't. You don't have to. You're in this to make a living. That's okay. I do it for my own reasons. I enjoy it. I have always given a lot away. It's just something that makes me feel good. It's very selfish in many ways, because I do enjoy giving things away. Ask my wife why I no longer have a riding mower. Why I no longer have the nice wet bar she bought me. I just like giving things away, and makes people feel good. It makes me feel good. But we get a lot out of it too. There's a lot of practice and interaction there with people. And let's face it, guys, working with dogs and people, it's an art. And it takes a lot of time and a lot of practice. And so for you younger trainers that are real excited about the idea, do it. You can't fail. You're only going to get better, okay? And for the guys and girls that wanted to reach out and pick my brain about it, anytime, just call me. I'll help you all I can. All right, guys? Hope everyone has a great week. Peace.